Yeah, well, you know, when you're talking about the roadies for the bands, one of my favorite ones was MaDDoG. MaDDoG Gauthier, man, he was a crazy character. I always would go to the clubs. While we were loading in the equipment, he would go up to the bartender and offer to eat glass if the bartender would give him a case of beer. Well, of course, they didn't believe him, so they would say, okay, we'll take that bet. And then next thing you know, here he is, takes a bar glass, bites a big chunk out of it, and then it just starts chewing the hell out of the damn thing, like, and it's crushing up. You can hear it crushing in his mouth. And sometimes we would get him up on stage and let him do that in front of the crowd, which always drove the crowd a little bit berserk. But man, it was funny as hell to watch him do it. And then he would take some transmission fluid and take a big drink out of that to wash it down with. Usually he never had to do that because the bartender would always give in immediately whenever he would start chewing the glass up and everything. But he always told me that it didn't, really hurt him. Sometimes he would split his lip, but he said it never hurt him because as he was chewing it up, he's grinding it up into sand. So it was like sand is what glass is made out of. So, it was easy enough for him to just swallow it down. He said the transmission fluid, he wouldn't drink the whole glass full of it, but he said he'd take a sip of it and it really wouldn't mess him up or anything because it would just go straight through his body because it was so viscous, I guess. It would just go straight through, and then he would, wouldn't have to worry about that. But he was also pretty crazy. And one night we were playing this club, and it was like a 3-story building, and we played in the middle floor. And there was a bank above us and some other kind of store down below. But during the breaks, we would go into the stairwell between the floors, and we'd get stoned in there and smoke the bong or whatever. One night we were sitting in there, we getting ready to go back on stage, and it comes MaDDoG's turn to take a hit. Said, okay, MaDDoG, hurry up, finish this off. Let's get back on stage, man. We got to get up there. So we all run out of the room, and here left him there. About 10 minutes later, we're all standing on stage waiting for him. He ain't nowhere to be found. All of a sudden, the other roadie comes running up. He says, hey, man, they just arrested MaDDoG in the hallway back there. They said that they caught him red-handed. He was taking a bowling hit when they walked in on him. They were searching upstairs because they had heard somebody was trying to mess around in the bank upstairs. So they sent these 2 detectives over there and arrested his stupid ass and took him down to the jail. And while he was in the jail, apparently he's pretty good at being in jail because he was in there and playing cards with all these guys. When we picked him up a few days later, he was telling the stories how he had, played all cards with them and won headbands. He's winning cigarettes and money. He's got a stack of money he's walking out of there with. And he said that one of the guys in the damn place wasn't getting all his meds on time, so he was kind of loopy, and he got all pissed off and ran over and tore the cord off of their TV set, and the freaking people in this bar in the damn jail cell started kicking the crap out of his ass all the whole time he was there. So he said he was glad to get out of there, but man, what a fun time he must have had. But yeah, he said he come out of there with about $25, all kind of cigarettes, and some of these guys, these roadies, they had the wherewithal of 10 men.